Hi, I'm Tommy Welch, and I'm a professional boxer. How old was I when I first realised I wanted to put on a pair of gloves? Well, I didn't really have a choice. I mean, my old man's an ex-champion, so I guess I was born in the gym. I was in here as a toddler. It wasn't really the place where I wanted to come down and relax, and it took me years to sort of enjoy coming down here because it is a sweat box and it's full of animals. And for me, I wanted to be outside playing football with the other kids. So up until the age of 12, I didn't like coming down. I used to come down a lot, and I gradually started enjoying it to the point where I turned around to my old man and said, I want to fight now. So that was about 14 years old. I put my first competition gloves on and rocked it out under the lights. Having a champion growing up as my father first and my role model second, I used to look up to him. I used to see how people would respect him and show him love, and it was massive for me. I used to see how people were around him, and for me, gaining people's respect, how he gained people's respect by fear and boxing and also being a gentleman was how I sort of envisioned I always wanted to be, you know? So yeah, my dad was a massive role model to me growing up as a kid. He set the way for me to follow behind him. The heavyweight division is the most prettiest division and also the ugliest. It's the most exciting. It's the most ruthless. Every other division has got a bit more class. It's got a bit more finesse. The heavyweights is brutal. The heavyweight is especially violent. You're knocking people out with one punch. You could be winning a whole fight and one shot. It don't even have to clip you properly and you're going out. It's thrilling. For me, it's very, very exciting. I can't wait to get in the mix. I want to do the same damage as all the other legends has done before me. There's a lot of great heavyweights in the past and in the present, and there's some great heavyweights coming for the future. Tyson Fury is phenomenal. He's one of a kind, really. Don't get me wrong, I'm a big fan of Anthony Joshua as well. He's a gentleman, he's a great role model. But Tyson Fury, for me, is somebody with masses of intelligence. He can change his game with a flick of a switch. He can knock you out if he wants to knock you out. He can play with you, he can laugh at you, he can make you angry, he can do all sorts of stuff. His mind games are second to none. He's a thinking man, so it makes him a very dangerous man. And being 6'9" is a monster. I believe Tyson Fury could go through any era of heavyweight boxing and beat every champion there ever was. That's my honest opinion. So yeah, Tyson Fury for me is dangerous. I had a bit of a mad layoff. Took some time out of the game, wanted to grow up a little bit and realise what I wanted out of this life. And when I decided what I wanted, I called Ben up, knowing his strong mindset, he's a Royal Marine background, he's been in there for 8 years. I said, Ben, I need a little bit of help. I said, I want you to start training me full time. So he laughed down the phone, he said, what's going on? I said, mate, I just need to get back in shape. He brought me back from a place I didn't want to be. I wasn't training, I wasn't focused, and he got me back training. He took me down to his team. He was looking after the Navy boxing team at the time. I spent 2 years down there on and off training, so getting their mindset, their unbreakable mentality. My old man is very, very much on the mentality stuff anyway. His mental strength was crazy. From where my dad come from to what he'd done, his mindset and mental strength was different class, if you really know his story. So Ben really installed that into me, and now every day he's with me. In a blink of an eye, I could ring him up at any time of the night, which I have done, and spoke to him, you know, and he's been there for me. So for me, yeah, Ben Pringle is a massive part of our journey. I say our journey because it's a team movement, and he's a massive part of it, yeah. My fighting style is rough. I would say it's aggressive. You know, I'm not one of these guys that will sit there and say, yeah, I'm a dangerous guy, I'm an aggressive man. No, I would try and be a gentleman always, but there's a fire burning in me, for sure. And Like Tyson used to say, you know, it doesn't matter how you win as long as you win. So he doesn't care about the jab, he doesn't care about the right hand. For me, it's just about doing my work correctly, learning the basics right, putting it together. I'm a bit rough around the edges, I'm aggressive, I'm gonna break you down and get rid of you, simple as that. Right, so I had my pro debut in December. Really and truthfully, it wasn't how I planned it out. I thought it was going to be glitz and glamour and the crowd going crazy, and we're in a funny time at the moment with this COVID situation. So for me, I always wanted that pro debut, that magical pro debut experience everyone gets of fighting in front of a good crowd and you knock them out in style and there everyone goes crazy. For me, that was what I planned. So when I walked out in my pro debut and just see a bunch of people standing there with cameras and masks on staring at me, quiet as well, it wasn't what I expected, to be honest. It was eerie. It was eerie, definitely. You know, once you was in that ring, you knew it was on, but there was no push there. Not that I rely on a push at all, you know, from a crowd, but I definitely perform under the lights and under the pressure. It wasn't the best pro debut experience. The show was great. Hennessy done a great job, but for me, I expected my first ever pro fight. Growing up as a kid thinking, yeah, it's gonna be on this stage and there's gonna be everyone there supporting me. Unfortunately, I couldn't have no support, so for me, it let me down a little bit on, you know, my entrance to the heavyweight division. My performance, probably 5 or 6 out of 10. I was just happy to get in there. I'd been out of the ring for 18 months. I was struggling to get on a show. We had about a week's notice. There was no opponents around, so we took Matt Gordon, who was, at the time, just come off a loss against Mitchell Barton, who's a top Scottish international amateur with a great pedigree. David Adelaide boxed as well. He stopped him in 2. It wasn't that clean, but it was, you know, a good job. So he's mixed it with top-level amateur that are turning over for their next step of their career. So for me, he was a good test. You know, if I want to mix with these guys down the line, which I certainly do, I have to get rid of this guy. So chuck him in with me. I've been out of the ring though for 18 months. It was a learning curve. It was a marker I could definitely progress on. So I'm looking forward to showing you my next victory. So 2021 hasn't started how I wanted to start. I wanted to be more active than this. Unfortunately, I haven't had the opportunity to. I've been trying to get out on shows. I've been ready since December when I last fought. I haven't really taken much time off. I've been in the gym ticking over, thinking maybe I'll get out in January, February, March. Unfortunately, I haven't got out yet. I'm still waiting. Like I said, it's a funny time. There's not many shows going on. This COVID situation's blown up again. I'm just waiting for it to pass over. May's gonna be my first stage back, and hopefully I can get out as much as I can after that, because it's all about the experience for me. I've had 1 fight in the last 2 years, and I want to be active. I want to bring some excitement. I'm 26 years old. I want to be out of the game by 30, 31. I want 4 or 5 years of just solid work. Bring some entertainment to this sport which is thriving at the moment. There's a lot of big fights going on, and for me, I want to be amongst it. So yeah, get me in there as much as I can.